What's going on, beautiful people of YouTube? This is Renebean. Welcome to another episode of Life of a Game Hunter slash Collector, the series I started up to give you guys a tidbit of what it's like to be a game hunter slash collector, the shit you deal with all the damn time. And I promised you last episode, we're cleaning this room. I'm really going to try to get oh God, I don't know how long that's going to take. I'm going to try to get most of that on the shelves. I either got like packages coming in that you guys sent, or I got trade stuff that I'm saving. But this room's just a disaster. Like I said, I like to use this room, so it gets dirty very quickly. What we're going to get done today? Well, guess what? The capacitor kit has come in for the TurboGrafx Express. This guy right here. Oh my God. I'm so scared to do this. I've never done one of these. I've changed thousands of capacitors in my life, but I've never worked on one of these. Not to mention, these are very small ceramic style capacitors. There's a lot of room for error. I mean, or there's only one way to find out. But first, let's clean this game room, guys. Alright guys, just a quick update. I do got my Sega CDs up, which I only added like 6. But that's still awesome. I got some loose ones, but they're ones that I don't have, and I am going to keep those. I typically don't like to keep loose disc items, but it's Sega CD, I don't come across it much, and there's a few there that I want to try. Now, I did take out my Xbox One X controller and then put it in place for the, oh shit, turn that off. I was listening to some Chili Peppers while I'm doing this. But I put in that NES box that y'all saw me pick up recently. I think I'm going to do that because I got like a PS4 box over here, another Xbox One box, a PS VR box. So I'm going to take that stuff and put it, and basically just do it like my old house where I had, you know, the living room as more of the modern stuff. It's just going to give me some more room. I don't think I'm going to tackle that today. I am going through all these games and dividing things up, like putting Wii over here, you know, just getting it ready. And if you remember, I can't remember if it was the last vlog or so, but I had that big tower of stuff fall down, and I found out it was the cat. Well, you can see where it damn slept at night, so I gotta vacuum all that up. Cat shed like crazy. But anyways, guys, we're gonna finish this up, and I want to get out there and I want to start working on that Turbo Express. All right, guys, it is done. Thank the Lord. That always takes so long to do, and I had to do some modification. I'm gonna go ahead and hit these lights here. There we go. All right, so first off, check this out. This is the corner now. You're probably saying there's still games there. Yes, those are Sega Genesis sports games, or just not the most desirable games. And that's going to be something that I think I'm going to do, and that's get out all the more modern stuff, the Retron 5 box, PS4 box, and just kind of do it like Reggie, I suppose. It's more about the quality versus quantity. While I still like having the quantity, for my display, I'm going to start removing as I need to. That way it's not so much of a pain to put games in, because I was able to add games like Clax and the Lost Viking, and just by removing like a John Madden or something, that's what I'm going to do with especially with like the Sega Genesis stuff. The original Xbox, it's all going to be on the shelf regardless, and I had to make some modifications, had to shorten up the display piece, and like I told y'all before, that's kind of how I have to do it, or that's how I've designed this room. That way, you know, it's nice to have these games displayed, but at the same time I did it so that it can grow. I added, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 Xbox games, and I try to keep these loose, that way I can add 2 or 3 at a time. Made sure to add a little bit more for that. Same with the PlayStations, I try to keep these loose. I was able to add, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 games there. The PlayStation 1, I can't remember how many I added, maybe about 5. That one's definitely going to have to be condensed soon, because it's starting to get tight. I do have room for 1 or 2 more, but I don't know which. I'll get rid of this right here and just have enough room for 20 more games. But I mean, that's the way it is. I got a small room, you know, comparative to like CJR or something. But I will say, me and my wife are in the works and planning stage of actually buying a house, and I'm looking for something with like a huge possible basement or something. I don't know yet. All that's still up in the air. So, of course, it's inevitable that no matter how many times I do this, I end up with doubles. The best bit of advice that I can give anybody when they're getting into collecting, when they're starting out a collection, keep track of it, do a spreadsheet on it. I didn't. My game room is over 5,000 games strong. It's hard for me to keep up with everything that I have. I've tried to log everything. It is an absolute pain, but we didn't end up with nothing too crazy as a double, but that's what it is. So I'm ready to get out there, guys. Oh, and now you can see over here, all those packages are either stuff from you guys or trades that I'm working. That box right there is trades that I'm saving for people. I don't like to save trades for too long because it's, you know, people will flake out. But there are certain people that I will do it for. So anyways, guys, let's get out into the shop. Let's get this turbo working. Alright guys, so we're here in the shop, and you are definitely going to hear a nervous Renebean in this video. This is something I've never done. I've never even seen one of these out in the wild. Always wanted it in my collection, and obviously, as a lot of you know, I kind of got burned on a Macari deal, but not necessarily burned, because for what I got, everything included, even defective, it was a phenomenal deal. But I need this in my collection, so my cap kit is in, and I'm excited. I'm nervous. These are ceramic capacitors, meaning they are small, super small, but they don't have polarity, so they can go either way. There's good and bad things about them. Oh goodness! And obviously we got construction going on outside. What kind of video would it be had we not? So let's go ahead and get this thing disassembled. I am so nervous about this. I really hope that the corrosion is not that bad. Traces aren't ruined, things like that. There's a lot of variables that can make this good or bad. So anyways, let's get removing. We're going to need a fine tip Phillips. Matter of fact, we're going to save every little bit we got here. I don't want to lose any of these screws. And you'll see a lot of jumps, I guarantee it, but I'm going to try to go over all the important things. So when you see something skip, just understand that you don't want a 5-hour-long video. Obviously, I have no idea how long this is going to take. Hopefully, I can get it done within an hour. This is something I've been so nervous about here lately. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, so with all the screws taken out, you're going to want to open it to the right side. There's a bunch of, trust me, I've been doing, like a lot of you guys out there, I watch a lot of YouTube videos on this. I want to be prepared for what I'm about to get myself into. So we're going to open this to the right because the ribbon cables are on the right side. So as we open it, being super gentle, super careful, you can see all these ribbon cables in here. There's 3 that are connecting to it. We're going to remove those. Being so careful, man. As careful as I can be. There's 2, and then the third is this power cable right here. There we go. So that's that. With the final capacitor is going to be this one right here that we're going to change out. We'll do that one last. Let's put this off to the side. Alright, now there's still some things connecting here. We got this one ribbon cable right here. That one's out. I think that goes to like the TV tuner or something. And then we got this right here, which I believe was at the sound. I'm going to grab my needle nose here and grab the actual box of it. There we go. So with that out, there's only one screw, which is this one right here. That connects it to the board right here. And pull that out. Then we're going to pull out the power button. And then it should be completely free to lean back. There it is. All the gorgeous caps and all their glory. I just want to see. I can already see corrosion all over the place. All this sucks. Hopefully this thing's going to be saved. I really do. I mean, I see capacitors all just completely covered. I'm going to go ahead and heat up my gun, my iron, and we're going to remove this shielding plate. That way we can access every single capacitor. Alright guys, so I did a big skip there because this thing took a while to get these damn shielding plates off. They're just soldered in on both sides, and you kind of got to go back and forth, back and forth. There may be an easier method, but it just took me a minute. So the next step, now you can see I completely removed the board from the housing itself, just to give me as much room as I can. We got to remove these capacitors now, and there is a handful of ways to do this, some of which are a whole lot better than the way you're going to see me do it. One of the best ways that I've seen is with cutters, like kind of like snips, in a sense, like wire cutters, but they're at an angle. I don't have any, so I'm going to do the old Game Gear method that I've done. And keep in mind, be warned, you can lift traces with this, but as long as you're careful, you're not yanking in a particular way, you'll do okay. And what I'm simply meaning is we're just going to grab a pair of needle nose pliers. We're going to grab one of these and we're going to twist it back and forth. There it is. There's one capacitor. Damn, these things are leaking, boy. Every single one of them is just about leaking. I don't know how well the camera will pick that up, but these capacitors are in rough shape. Now, I'm not worried about matching them up because the person that I actually got this from, he has a diagram. I'm going to actually set up a screen in here, and that way I can map it out. And I had to remove that shielding because some people, when they do kits, they're only going to replace the ones that they can get to rather than taking that pain in the ass shield off. It's a full cap kit, so we're going to change all of them. So anyways, you're going to see me remove all these, and then we'll worry about cleaning the board and then installing these very tiny capacitors. Alright guys, I wanted to go ahead and get my chart with my diagram for all the mapping of this before we clean this board up, just so it is done. I'll set that over there for now. That is Miss Renebean's little tablet thing. Alright, so what we're going to do is clean the rest of this up. Still got one more to remove here. This is some seriously corroded stuff, guys. Like almost every single capacitor is leaked in this thing. I mean, just look at that. Every single one of them is just completely... Let me see if I can show you here. Look at that. That's terrible. Alright, so that's all of them on the main board. Let's go ahead and toss these out. They're just garbage. Now there's still a lot of plastic housings left over, and I'm going to just finish up prying these off very carefully. Alright guys, so that is done. Before I start cleaning this up, I just wanted to show you how bad the corrosion was with these capacitors. If you can see right here where your sound comes from, all this, every single capacitor just seems like it leaked everywhere. I didn't lift any traces, so that is a good thing. We just got to clean this up now. I'm going to use some rubbing alcohol and then apply very generous amounts of flux and salt, put some tin on all this here. So let's go ahead and start cleaning it up. Now what I do need to go through, I need to remove all the legs that were left over from the capacitors, because we're going to have to be able to get these points very nicely. So I'm just going to hit them with the gun very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with some flux. It already wants to be difficult. Alright, so I got all the legs off. Now I'm going to clean it again. Cleaning is the most important part, because if you hold that gun there too long, it's going to oxidize. You're going to ruin it. I've ruined so many Game Gears learning how to do things like this, that you need to realize that the less heat that you can apply, the absolute better. So we want to make sure all these contacts are clean. We're going to hit them with the flux and hopefully get some action out of them. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is apply some tin to each one of these points. This is a lot of people who've seen me do mini Game Gears will know this is basically the same thing, except it's on a different unit, a whole lot more expensive unit. So I am being as cautious as I can be with this thing. Alright, so that is done. So now the final part, well, not the final part, but the most pain part, I think, is going to be, because these capacitors are so small, is to swap all these out. I'm going to go ahead and grab some tweezers, because my hands are not stable enough to do that. Where are my angled tweezers? These will work, I guess. I don't know where my... There they are. Angled ones are what I want, so I can plop them down. Alright, and like I said, I got a guide, a schematic where I'm going to individually place each capacitor. These are not positive, negative. I can just set them any way I want. For these, they don't have polarity. Stick to that, you'll mess it up. Alright, let's go ahead and turn this thing on here, which I'm sure I'll have to turn it on multiple times. That. Go ahead and divide these out. Alright, so I got the first ones installed. Now, I've never installed these types of capacitors. It's not the funnest. I'm getting the hang of it. They're not, perfectly seated, and, this ain't textbook. But I do see myself getting in a routine of it, so I'm going to keep going, finish this out, and then I'm going to do the one on the actual controller board, and then we should be good to go to at least try it out. So I'll cut back and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, all the caps are in. Not the prettiest job, like I said, but nothing's loose. It seems like, I really wish I had a continuity tester, man, because I don't want to put all this thing back together just to find out that one cap is not properly seated or so. There is one major cap here that I just noticed that we needed to change out, which is this big guy right here. We're going to go ahead and desolder it. This should be a very simple cap to swap out here. Alright, let's go ahead and plop in the new guy. And then we're going to do the daunting task of putting this thing back together to test it. That's what really sucks. I can't just kind of put batteries in it like a Game Gear. How was that on there? That thing folded back. So that thing went in. Folded around, if I'm not mistaken. Alright guys, so there's only, well actually, the control board, which is right here. It would be a good idea to go ahead and get these buttons clean, seeing as how they've probably never been cleaned. So let's go ahead and open this up here. It's got one connector and how many screws? Let me go ahead and unplug the soldering iron so I don't burn myself. Let's go ahead and pull out this one connector. That thing is so tight in there. I think I'm just going to leave it. I'm not even going to mess with it because I don't want to hurt that, but I am still going to pull it out. I'll just leave it hanging. Oh, too big. Go ahead and lift this bad boy up. That is dirty, man. Gosh almighty. I'm glad I did this because that is in rough condition. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and clean this up here. Same technique I do with my Game Boy games. Just a little bit of our Game Boys. Just a little isopropyl. Hit up these contacts. Do the same thing with where the buttons actually make contact. Alright guys, so what you're going to see now is nothing. I'm going to put this thing back together and we will test it together. I won't fire it on beforehand. We'll see exactly how I did. So anyways, next shot you're going to see is batteries going in it. Alright guys, so I am very nervous about this. I don't know why. It's just, I want this so bad in my collection. I feel like one of the first people on the Apollo missions is with the instruments they use, trying to find a little rock in space. I don't have everything I need. If I had something as simple as a continuity tester, which I'm going to pick up here soon, I could just check each capacitor. Everything looked okay. I didn't have any bad connections. I don't think. I went over everything very meticulously, and there's nothing else we can do but try it. What do we got here? We got Ninja Spear. I was going to grab Splatterhouse, but this one was loose, and we're going to go ahead and try it with it. So let's go ahead. Please, God, let the game God smile upon me and say, you know what, it's going to be alright. Enjoy your TurboGrafx Express. Make sure you're in the off position. Alright guys, moment of truth. Oh my goodness. We're going to find out, will this thing actually play? I really hope it does. I'm sure some of you guys out there on the edge of your seats, because I know I am. Oh Lord. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you... Let me set that down and comprehend this, guys. Oh my God, I feel like I hit $5 on the dollar scratch off. Holy shit! Are you kidding me? Did it actually freaking work? Oh my God. Oh, oh, that seller thought he was gonna pull a fast. Let me. Oh my God. Oh, let's turn it back on. Oh, look at that. Oh Lord, it is actually a working turbograph. Look at the brightness working. Oh shit. Oh, this is so freaking awesome. The sound is very loud. Oh yeah. Oh my God, I gotta see it. Is it actually gonna work right? Oh yeah, oh yeah, whoa. Oh guys, I don't know how many people are watching this, but I want y'all to know the level of excitement in my voice. This thing was dead on arrival. You saw those capacitors were ass. They were shot. Every single one was leaking. I was as careful as I could cleaning them, making sure every connection was okay. And I did it! Oh shit, guys. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Just look at it. Look at this again. Just share this enjoyment with me. Look how it cuts on. There's the game. Watch the color come in. Woo! Boy, oh man, I'm so happy. I'm going to be playing that thing the rest of the night. Guys, I know it wasn't the most interesting episode. We got the game room done, but we got this. We got this, and we got this. I'm so happy for that. I'm going to clean this thing up, make sure it's absolutely pristine, and I can finally say I got one in my collection. And not only do I got one in my collection, but it's got a full refurb cap kit on there. Come on, I didn't realize these caps were that bad. Every single one of these in this unit was bad. And if it's like that, if you have a Turbo Express, change the caps out. It was very challenging for some of the parts, but it wasn't as bad. If you've done Game Gear mods, I feel Game Gear mods have trained me for this. Like, this is like the final guy on Mortal Kombat right after like some crazy Goro fight or something. This is awesome. Guys, I'm going to go have fun. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.